This is how I took this picture, or pictures, 51 to be exact. My photography style has been an interesting story. It's ever evolving and I'm constantly perfecting each step of the way. I love to go out exploring and make a real adventure out of it. I'm not just here to take the photo, I'm immersed into the character that I'm playing as. I'm actually part of an imaginary world that solely lives in my artwork. This isn't just photography, it's an entire world with stories, ideas, and most importantly, art. Surreal photography is quite niche. For me, it started in about 2018 when coming across Kyle Thompson's work. He's an amazing photographer and I was captivated by the world he was creating. I took inspiration from him heavily. Alongside Kyle, there's also Alex Stoddard, Ben Zank and Brooke Shaden, who have all contributed to turning my photography style into what it is now. My photography process is quite unique, and I think it's melded into this abstract train of thoughts where I'll have an idea for something I want to make, taking inspiration from many different places, but mainly music, video games and movies. I have books and books of ideas, stick figure drawings that look like random scribbles, but to me it's an exciting part of the process because I love looking back on them and seeing how each idea was conceptualised. It's a weird sort of puzzle that I decipher in my own mind over a period of a few weeks. The idea will change and transform until I'm happy with the concept, then I'll go for it. This also helped me actually remember the ideas. There's nothing worse than knowing you've got a good idea but you just can't remember it. I like to have a basic idea of what I'm going for, but it can always change and I'll often have new ideas come around when I'm actually shooting. Photography always has that random aspect and I'll always allow for changes on the spot. I like my photography to have a meaning behind it. I love the idea of being able to look back at a certain picture I've taken and be sort of taken back to how I was feeling when I took it, almost as if each photo is a portal to a different time. For this photo, I wanted it to be all about identity. I like the idea of it being all out of control and chaotic, and maybe a bit indecisive. The character is going through sort of an identity crisis, trying to figure out who they are and why they're here. Maybe that's a reflection of me and subconsciously that's how I'm feeling. That would make a lot of sense at the moment. The thing is, I'd love for each photo I make to resonate differently with each viewer. Maybe they see themselves in my photo or someone they'll become, interpreting my concepts or ideas in their own way. My editing process is very meticulous. It's a bit chaotic and messy and I think some of my techniques are a bit old-fashioned. But one thing I pride myself in is how I cut out each element separately, taking time to fully incorporate the most important details. A great quote would be, "Photography is as much about what you include as it is what you don't include." I like to photograph each part of an image separately, cutting them out one by one, knowing that I can start from a blank canvas and add things in as I go. Makes things easier while I edit, especially limbs and poses. It definitely helps also when shooting, knowing I don't need to get everything perfect in one take. Rather, I can slow down and get small pieces that I need. I also pride myself in knowing that I'll never have, or never will, use stock images or AI generated art. Because the art's all about me, I have a pledge to only ever use images made by me and my camera. If I need something for a photo shoot, like the mask in this one, I need to source it and photograph it. One tip I can say to people starting out is to shoot more than you think you'll need. It's always disappointing getting back and realising you've forgotten an important piece. Also, have a list in mind or written down so you don't forget anything. I've definitely started to write down outfits and props that I know I'll need. A few things I keep in mind when shooting and editing are: how do I want the image to feel? Is it dark or creepy? Does it have a meaning to it? What do I want the final image to feel like? What reoccurring themes do I want across all my work? How will I link up photo to photo? Since they're all supposed to be different stories, how do I want them concise and recognisable? I have signature styles and ideologies that I like to include in my work as much as possible, like the iconic headless style, the colours, editing style, the whimsical look, the surreal feeling, and making it all relatable. Another thing I like to make sure is at the forefront is making things look realistic. I do feel as though I can really make anything in Photoshop if I wanted to, but most importantly, I like to make things that are realistic, maybe not physically, but I don't want anything completely otherworldly. I like to call it realistic surrealism. A genuine thank you for watching this adventure with me. I'm planning on making a bunch more videos this year, as I do really love doing it. Thank you for hearing me out, and here's the final image.